Welcome back to another episode of Tarik, the show where we talk about the crazy what if questions that nobody really answers so that you can enjoy. So, yeah, let's get straight into it. What are you gonna do in an apocalypse? We have so many movies to watch about apocalypse, and yet in Singapore, we've never really thought about how life would turn out after the bombs drop, or after the zombies come out, or after everything is wiped away by some natural disaster. Yeah, nobody thinks about that in Singapore because it seems so unreal. And as unreal as it seems, it's always good to be prepared. So today is going to be about what would you do in an apocalypse in Singapore? Yes, that's what we're going to talk about today. So today I have with me Eric, who's also going to share about what he's going to do. Yeah, so Eric, how do you think Singapore would end in an apocalypse?
Well, people always say that Singapore is a small tiny island and it would succumb to any kind of disaster. Like I have teachers telling me that if you drop an atomic bomb on Jurong Island, it will practically sink the whole of Singapore along with it. The area is so small.
Okay.
Will bring down the whole island.
Let's just hope that nobody drops an atomic bomb on Jurong
That
Island
will
so
be
that
terrible. That will be
so that we
terrible.
have a
That's touch wood.
chance to survive, okay?
Yeah, that's touch wood.
Okay.
My teacher though. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that the most likely scenario would be that bombs will drop. Okay, and when the bombs drop, you're gonna need somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And if there's radiation, you're also gonna need somewhere to go. And I think the best place to be when all of this happens is to be secluded from the rest of the world, because nobody's gonna fight with you for resources and stuff like that.
So you're gonna
So
isolate yourself.
yes, exactly. And what better place to isolate yourself than a whole island in itself? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You know which island?
Which one?
Sentosa Island. Okay.
Ooh.
See, Sentosa Island is separate from mainland Singapore, okay? And if you cut off the bridge, you limit your access there, okay?
Yeah.
Yes. And okay, maybe this is more suited for like a zombie apocalypse, or if people are chasing after you, because Sentosa Island would be easier to lock down as compared to
Plus the fact I
yeah.
don't think zombies are very good at crossing rivers, right? Are they?
Yes, exactly.
They're not very
Zombies
good.
don't swim.
They're not very good with water, huh?
Yes. Yeah. And so if you have a Sentosa Island all for yourself, you have USS there, okay? Yes.
Yeah, USS. Entertainment check.
Enjoy yourself after the apocalypse. Yes. And it's
Literally part of a checklist, like seclusion check, entertainment check.
yes. And you have food too, you know how much food there is in Resorts World Sentosa. There's a lot of food there.
Got everything covered there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have you thought of going to an island in a country where it's a whole island and continent by itself?
Well,
Like Australia.
I think if you're going for something that big, Singapore is already a country like that, because we are an island in itself and we're much smaller.
We're just a tiny
Yeah.
little.
Yes. So how about you? Zombie apocalypse. Where would you go?
For me, like you, I'll first seclude myself from the whole of society because I do not want people fighting over resources. And probably I'll bring a few others with me, like people who I trust a lot. Then we could form a like sort of a band or a group, like we got each other's backs, like we support each other through this apocalypse. Like we need people to support us throughout this tough period of time. Like we can't just do it alone. Like this saying about teamwork makes the dream work, or like more hits prove better results.
Yeah. I think that, but we also need to choose the people very wisely, right? Because you never know what skill sets you need. Like you're gonna need like someone who can.
It's best if you can get a balance of different skill sets. For example, we got one guy who's very strong, and we got one guy who's very smart, or we got one guy who knows how to fight.
Yeah.
We need a balance.
Yes, a balance.
so that they can cover each other's weaknesses and flaws, and then while they display their strengths. That's
Yes.
the best thing.
And you know what's the most important thing we need?
Yeah.
We need someone who can read maps.
Yeah, geography. You need someone
Yes.
who knows that geography stuff.
Geography, very important in
Yes.
orientating yourselves.
Yeah.
Who knows? There may
Agreed.
not even be internet, right?
Agreed. You
Okay.
never know, and you never know what may happen. So it's best to buck up on that orienteering skill.
Yeah. Okay. So another way the apocalypse may happen would be like, let's say, disasters. So I'm pretty sure like many of y'all would have heard of like the movie called 2012 before,
Yes.
because many people knows that 2012 was the year the war was supposed to end. But what happened? Well, yeah, it was all fake. But 2012 gives us a very clear picture of what may happen if the waters come and we're unprepared.
Yeah, man. It's a tsunami, right?
Yeah, a tsunami which wiped out the whole world, and people had to go on the boats, and then not
Wow.
boats, like spaceship boats. Yeah,
Oh,
but
those hovercraft. You call that hovercraft, right?
yeah, hovercrafts. But right now in Singapore, we don't have these hovercrafts.
Yeah.
So
Technology is not as
the
advanced
question,
as it is
yeah.
because of that
So the
state.
question is, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do if there's floods? Okay. So I personally feel that a very bad idea would be to go underground, because you never know when a leak may spring.
Underground.
Yeah, underground is a terrible idea.
Yeah, actually, you know why I don't quite agree with underground. There's barely any ventilation up if you go tunnel all the way underground.
Yeah.
And you completely block out the sunlight. If you go very deep, you actually block out the sunlight. Unless you find a way to dig a hole above.
Yeah. And
Like that's why those kind of people, right, those whose job are miners, right? Like they in the States, right, when they go down to the coal mines to farm coal, right, they need to bring down a extra large like portable fan with them. The purpose of it is to literally blow out all the toxic fumes that are down there and like make sure like they get to work in like a safe environment. It's like quite tough underground, like, with all the fumes on it.
yeah.
And the ventilation is very bad underground. Like you barely get any oxygen flow.
Yeah,
Because like
but
according
yeah.
to like some science theory, the deeper you go, like the less oxygen there is, or is it the higher you go, there's lesser oxygen.
It depends on the space, you
Yeah.
know. But if we go underground, the thing is that it's way more expensive, and you need to be
Yeah,
prepared. It
yeah,
needs to
man.
be built to
Yeah,
resist
man.
all the conditions.
Yeah.
Yes, and
So
so a flood is, you're very unlikely to survive a flood underground
yeah.
if your bunker is not meant for it.
If the bunker's not well designed and the purpose is not for that, it will actually the flood will actually just flow down, like it will go downstream or that.
Yeah, and so I think the best place to go in Singapore, if a huge tsunami ever happens, would be Mount Faber.
Nice one. Mount Faber.
You know why? Guess why.
High up, right?
That's one thing. Okay, so see, Mount Faber is like it's high up, as you said, and it's covered with trees. I mean, the whole place is like just trees,
So you're
right?
just hoping the trees soak up the water, or I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is, if the cable car survives, you will
Yes.
have a two-way trip all the way to the other side.
Wow.
The skyscrapers. I think there's a building there. I
The
forgot which
Harbour
building.
Center, yeah, the Harbourfront Center.
Yes, Harbourfront Center. You can use that space as your residential area,
Dude,
and
that's kind of cool, man. Then it means you have two
yeah,
buildings all to yourself. And the way of
yeah,
transportation is through the cable cars, like from here to there.
yeah.
It's
And
also
so
connected to mainland because like Harbourfront Center is like supposedly the stretch of road that leads to like the mainland. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, and so it means that if you dominate that area, you will have you'll be able to live in this very high environment.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to come down
And
technically.
there's so many floors on Harbourfront Centre. Like imagine if you have all the floors to yourself, you can just allocate
Yeah.
one floor for like this, like one floor for like that.
Yes.
Then
So
there
if
won't be a
you
need there won't be a need to get any more properties if you have the whole of like Harbourfront Centre.
yeah, and who knows, you may be the only one who survives because you're up there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're
It's
smart
very hard to
enough,
tell. The future is unpredictable, so we must always
yeah.
get prepared.
So if you guys out there are smart enough, head for Mount Favor. You know,
Yeah. But what?
rule that
Wait,
hill.
hold up. If Mount Faber is good, but have you considered Bukit Timah Hill? Because if there was actually a flood, I would actually consider Bukit Timah Hill.
Okay, Bukit Timah Hill is slightly taller, right?
Yeah, slightly
Uh,
taller.
but the thing is that in Bukit Timah Hill, there's no urban developments.
Urban development.
It's
You, you
completely
you got the point there. It's completely sealed off from the Bukit Timah housing estate. It's completely like sealed off by all the vegetation and trees.
yeah, and
Got a
it's
point.
like there's no buildings, there's no shelter for you to live at the
And the
top.
shelter is just 5 little pavilions, which aren't going to
Yeah.
do much when the flood comes. They're actually not going to do much.
Yeah, so if you want to survive long, head for Mount Favor. Yeah.
Hey, and it's near it's technically also the near your house also. Like if it were actually to happen, it's actually the nearest place, the nearest shelter that you can find in Mount Faber. Not even kidding.
Mm, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what would you do?
Suppose there was actually a flood, right, in Singapore, right? Actually, the first thing I'll do, right, is maybe I'll consider finding high ground. Like you said, high ground is most important in floods because in the case of a flood, the higher the better, because the water can't go like maybe quite high. Like there's a certain limit to the waves, the height of waves that the water can actually make.
Yeah. So yeah, but there's so little places in Singapore that is high. We don't even have mountains. We only have like Bukit Timah Hill.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's the best we can do. Yeah, Bukit Timah Hill, 165,000.
Yeah. uh yeah, and skyscrapers are unlikely to survive the impact upon. I mean, it's like
The bad thing about skyscrapers is that the foundation of skyscrapers, right? It may not exactly be meant for the purpose of withstanding floods. Like
yeah,
skyscrapers, right? A simple little earthquake, right? Actually, it can topple skyscraper.
yeah. And Singapore doesn't have earthquakes, so
Yeah, and
it's
and
built to resist a certain
yeah,
certain withstand certain conditions,
yes, yes,
but it's not as
yeah,
strict
man.
as places with
Yeah,
earthquake.
yeah.
So
But
yeah.
have you heard of one kind of natural disaster which only happened very long ago, like decades ago?
Okay, which is this?
But that natural disaster was caused by human error. It was actually caused by human error.
It's a building, right?
You know, it used to be called the Lanyard Building, yeah, but now it's replaced with Pink
I don't know.
at Owen Road. Hotel New World, yeah, to put
Oh,
another.
Hotel New World. Yes, I know that. Everyone knows. I think most people will have learned about that.
Yeah, history. We have learned that history, but it's a sad story. You know that it could have been avoided, that natural disaster, had the building developer not been so careless as to get a guy that just passed his engineering degree to come and inspect the building and did not realize that there were errors in the measurements of the weight of the pillars that were supporting
Hmm.
the structure.
I don't think that was like a natural disaster, but it was more of an architectural failure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that caused the collapse of the entire building and
which is sad.
33 deaths. Yeah, 33 deaths in total and 17 casualties. Yeah.
But it's because of that that
Yeah.
our building guidelines now are like stricter. I
Yeah,
think.
they're way stricter now, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now, moving on, we have okay. So let's talk about what will you do
Mm-hmm.
if all hell starts to break loose in Singapore.
Oh,
Like people starts
riot.
raiding places, and you have to lock yourselves in, and because like something is happening out there, but you're not
Oh,
sure what. Okay, I
what,
can't predict the scenario either.
are you trying to say that we're going back to the 1964 racial riots?
No, it's more like people start raiding because they're panicking, okay, and then
Oh,
nobody is exactly clear what is happening, but they're raiding,
well,
and then like the government falls,
well,
okay.
it's kind of this, right? It's exactly like those hoarders who buy super lot of ton
Yeah,
of
but
stuff in the COVID lockdown without actually really needing it. They're just buying for the sake of I need that stuff. I need that stuff. I need it to last through the whole COVID lockdown.
Yeah, but imagine if this is like 100 times worse. It's like everybody just starts grabbing stuff for
Then
themselves.
you had better get some super good quality padlocks and just shutter the whole house. Or...
Yeah, but because at that time, right,
Yep.
in this scenario I'm talking about, money wouldn't matter anymore because what you're gonna be trying to do would be to survive, and survival is the only thing that matters.
So it's
So
more of
where
survival.
would you go? Where would you go if you wanted to survive
White House.
in Singapore?
Istana. Yeah, I'll just run to the Istana because it's the by far the place got the highest protection in the whole of Singapore. Like,
uh, is that? I'm not sure if that's true, but
I mean, the president surely has the highest protection in the whole of Singapore, right? Except that this time around, our president didn't take up the offer and chose to stay in the HDB block.
well, I'm not sure about that. But I don't think the Istana is the most well protected. I mean, military bases are like slightly more protected, I guess.
I mean,
Especially
yes,
our underground. Singapore has an underground ammunition facility.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be way more protected, and maybe people would run there if all the raiding starts to happen, right?
I agree with your point.
Because first thing they think, we better go underground and lock ourselves down there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And there's also say kind of arid shelters, like
Yeah, but who would lock themselves in air raid shelters? I mean, come
and
to think of it, right?
kind of it's not logical because it's underground and there's no way
Yeah.
people are locking themselves in the underground chamber with like limited food and water, which is no way
Yeah.
that's happening. Yeah.
So I think people would rather lock themselves in like shopping malls and stuff. Like if they take over the entire shopping mall, right? They have everything
Yeah.
you need: amenities,
Wow.
clothing, food,
Wow, bro.
running water if the water supply isn't cut off yet. Yeah, they're gonna have all of that. Okay.
Wow. Wait, but
Yeah.
if there's a supermarket in the shopping mall, right? Then, you know what I mean? Then you can
Yeah.
just get all the supplies
Yeah. All
inside
the
the
food.
yeah, man.
Okay. So, to think of it, I will also head for a shopping mall. Like, yeah, I'm gonna lock down the shopping mall I can find. Okay.
Yeah, man.
And I'm gonna chase everyone else out.
Wow.
No, actually, maybe I'll be nice. Okay, I'll let some people come in, but you can't have everyone in one shopping mall. You have to split them between different
I
shopping.
mean, we have to distribute the crowd evenly. We can't make everyone like.
Yeah, and then we can start our own little society in there. Yeah, but yeah. So what would you do? Or maybe which shopping mall would you go to?
Plaza Singapura, yes, is my top choice because that not say impressive, but at least it has 7 floors, 7 floors plus 2 basements, which makes it like 9 floors in total. Like I'm not even kidding. It's meant to that kind of mall is meant to hold high quality of shows, like literally. Amidst the COVID lockdown, also it's meant to like hold this kind of large numbers of people.
I think a place that I would go for, right, is a shopping mall which has a lot of there's residential buildings nearby, so that there's actual places to live. And I also go for a shopping mall which is perhaps connected to a hospital, so that we have first aid supply as well.
So then you can literally choose needs, man. Like
Yeah,
you have
and
Jurong General Hospital connected to both Westgate, GEM, and IMM, and
oh yeah, Gem. Yeah,
the three malls are together, they're all connected by Jaywalk, and the fact that J sensors are beside GEM, like just need to cross one road to get to a J gateway, like the what place you call it? Yeah, the condominium facility, J gateway.
yeah. I think Jurong East is the best place to go. I mean, you have a train station there as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna build the high speed KL railway or something.
Yeah, I think soon.
Soon.
But
People are saying it's gonna be Jurong. I mean,
yeah,
wait, what am I saying? Yeah, it's gonna be the next CBD. Yeah, the next CBD.
Yeah, even though the trains may not work, right? The train tracks are very good if you want to navigate away from like if you want to navigate above ground. Yeah, you can do that.
The
Provided
tracks are useful in that kind of sense.
yeah. And okay, yeah. So let's move on to our last topic, I guess. Okay. So
Right.
what would you do? What vehicle would you choose as a mobile home in Singapore during the apocalypse? Like you can choose any vehicle. What would you choose? And why?
Does a camper count?
Camper Singapore where got campers?
I mean, I'm no. I mean, and I think like those. How do you how do you phrase? Ah, I know already. Mack truck.
Mack truck.
Like those
Okay.
big trucks. Yeah.
What would you do with it?
Like firstly, right, that thing is actually technically quite impressive because the 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 back seat can be like it can actually be called a bedroom.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You're cutting
The
off a
back
bit.
seat of that vehicle, right, it can be converted into a bedroom. Like if you were to
Okay.
the seats at the back, they are specially so that it can be readjusted to actually create a or portable like bed.
So you can create a portable bed. Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could.
that's pretty
We
cool.
could.
Okay. I think right, a
Uh-huh.
vehicle I would choose would be a train. Our MRT system.
Why do you choose a train?
Okay, so if the train system is still working, right?
Yeah.
I think there are manual controls on trains. I'm not sure, but I do believe there's still manual controls.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so even though it's like you're stuck to one path, right? It
Yep.
gives you it's very unlikely that you're gonna face obstruction underground unless the parts of the tunnels collapse or the bridges collapse. Yeah, so you can travel anywhere in Singapore in that train. You know.
So you would choose a train.
Yeah, and trains have like different compartments, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna have one first aid compartment, one storage compartment, one kitchen compartment, one bed compartment. Yeah,
Passengers. So you could make use of this carriage is for this, that carriage is for that.
yeah, exactly. That's what I would do, and yeah, and it's underground, so you're safe from whatever lies above.
Underground. Will you choose it to be underground or above? Like since there's half for this MRT, this train thing. Like you can do it above or
Uh, I'm actually, if it's a MRT, I would prefer underground because people won't be able to see lah. And then like if you're underground, right, your train is very loud, but then nobody's gonna hear it or see it, and nobody's gonna run for you for supplies So it's very unlikely someone might loot you. While above ground, people might loot your train. You know, and yeah, so. Yeah, I would choose a train. But if the train doesn't have electricity, right, I'll most likely choose like a double decker bus and drive around the roads because double decker buses are like there's a lot of space and then you can make use of that space to be like bedroom, you can have a kitchen, you can have like I don't know, you can have a swimming pool inside or anything lah. Yeah, so hopefully you manage to get your hand on a double decker bus or a train during the apocalypse, and then you can live like a king, queen. Yeah, travel around Singapore in your trusty vehicle through the apocalypse. Yeah, I guess. So, Eric, do you have anything else?
no.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's about it for today's topic.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope you guys out there would know what people would think about if apocalypse ever happened, and that maybe are slightly more prepared. I don't know, but yeah, it works. Okay, so thanks and bye.
Bye. For now,
Bye.
stay tuned for more.
Yes, okay, bye.